Hi, 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 hi. It's a great day today, and I'm so excited to be in another edition of Executive Dialogue, where we are having executives, top managers, top CEOs discussing issues related to executives, managers, and supervisors as it concerns their health, their productivity, and their performance. Today, I have somebody very special, and she is so special. I call her Queen, right? And you're going to know about that very soon. So, for those who are joining us live, and for those who will be watching the recording, after all, you're meeting Dalin Espinal. If I get it wrong, please try to correct me when you get it that right. It's a business growth and belief reprogramming coach. Wow. So she is a business coach and she does a lot of reprogramming, very key. And consultant, originally from Dominican Republic, and the mother of two young ladies, wow, passionate about helping people discover the truth of business, life, and about themselves and their potential. Our method is rooted in the principle and universal laws. And our focus, as all she do, is if she gives you the truth will set you free. Welcome aboard, my queen, darling.
Thank you, Remy. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
My excitement is that you're here today. We've been trying to fix a day like this, but finally it's here. So, just a brief, background. Tell us about yourself that I don't know, that people don't know. Who is Queen Darling?
Well, okay, so I am a daughter of God, first and foremost. Um, Life has taken me into a lot of directions, a lot of things in sales and teaching. So I've done a lot of sales and teaching in different areas of life. My most important job to me has been being a mother. So that's like the main, most important job has been being a mother. So that's what I consider myself, like a daughter, a mother, even though business is
And a
part of
queen,
life,
and a queen, right?
and a queen, of course, of course.
That's
So business is part of life. So
yeah.
in business, I'm very passionate about helping people find the truth because truth makes us free in the different areas of life. I'm originally from Dominican Republic, like you said, and been maybe half of my life in the United States.
Mhm.
But I do have a house in the Dominican Republic, and we love the country. My daughters and I, we love the mountains and the country.
Awesome.
So we would like to go back at some point.
I
Yes.
mean, I would like to follow you one of these days to have some taste of those food and those high mountains and those hills and all those experiences. I would love to have those experiences too, because
Yes, yes.
all right. Okay, so the focus of this discussion is going to be on what I tag the executive emptiness. And let me just read just a phrase. So, executive emptiness is a concept that describes a state of unfulfillment, dissatisfaction, lack of purpose experienced by high achieving executives and entrepreneurs despite their success. Does this sound familiar to you?
Of course, because a lot of times we think we're only like working beings,
Mhm.
but we're not. We're emotional beings, spiritual beings, social beings, we have a physical body that needs care. And then we also need to provide. So when a person focuses on one area, then your body and your whole mind can tell you there's something wrong here,
Yeah.
you know? It's like an alarm, you
Yeah.
know?
So the question here or discussion here is what makes an executive get to a point where you feel so empty, you feel so dissatisfied, even when you're making money or you're making fame or your name is all over the places with all the accolades and all that. What really makes an executive to get to this point? Do you have an experience you want to share with us?
Yeah, I think the emptiness comes from different things,
Mm,
Remy. It could be your expectations. You can have an expectation that once you reach a certain level in life,
mm,
that you're going to be happy all the time. Like if you have that expectation and once you get there, the life doesn't look like the way you imagined it, then that can give you disappointment
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can feel emptiness. Like that's one thing that I've seen. Another thing is like not having your values being honored,
Mm,
like not being in alignment with what you're doing. Like if your values are not in alignment, you could be successful in the outer life. People can see that you're giving the results that expect
Yeah.
or that is expected. But if your values are not being honored, then your internal also dialogue is going to make you uncomfortable.
I know, right? Because many executives, especially in the Western world, in this part of our world, are really trying to, pay bills, get things done, and then try to make ends meet. A single mother, a single father, struggling parents, and everybody's like, "Oh, don't care. I mean, I don't care about family now. Let's focus on the work. Let's get the money out." And by the time they get to the peak of their career or get to touch the money or get to that level, they've lost their family, they've lost the children. When I was raising my children, I mean, when they were kids, what I loved about it was I was seeing them growing. You can't miss that. You can't miss that growing path for your children.
Right,
If you're
right.
so busy and just come home one time, the other, and then your children are already grown up, you miss that. So I know how important that is. But you see, how do you balance between paying the bills and living the life of purpose?
I think we have to understand that time will fly by.
Mm.
Like your kids, like you were saying, next thing you know, they're 9, 10, 15, 20, and the time went by.
Mm.
We cannot fall into the trap of tomorrow,
Mm.
next week, next month. Because imagine if you're thinking, okay, I'll spend time with them when, later, next year, right? So then you passed a whole year practicing. Like, think about this. The whole year you're practicing saying, I'll spend time with them next year,
Mm.
right? When I achieve this or that goal. And then next year comes, but you have practiced a whole year
Mm.
saying next year. So now it's easier for you to do it again,
Mm.
for you to continue saying next year, next week, later, later, later. And I remember one time my daughter said, Mom, I know you're very busy, but I'm growing. She told me, the little one.
Mm.
She's like, I know you're very busy, Mom, but I'm growing. And I'm like, you know what? You are right.
Mm.
The time does go by if you're not aware.
Mm.
So balance, like balancing the important things in life, because why do we work? Supposedly, we of course we work for money, but what do we need money for? We need money for our family. So then the real important thing is the family. And then time is more valuable than money. So our children don't need for us to throw money at them or buy them things. Like they do need things, but they need us more than the things. And the memories, you can never replace those things. If you ask a child, what would you prefer? Spend a whole day with your mom or dad having, one-on-one time, or a toy. A lot of times the child's going to be like, time with my mom, time with my dad, because that's something you cannot replace. And in this society, that has been lost a lot. And that's why you see a lot of elderly people by themselves in their houses or in a home, and like the family hardly visits them, because they didn't deposit emotionally, they didn't connect emotionally with their kids.
Mm.
So now it's like a fake thing, like it's let's go visit grandma because we have to, not because we want to.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's really sad when it gets there, you
Wow.
know?
You really hit on some points here. So I was in a, I visited an old woman in a care home, and then she's complained that her children are not here. She said, "Oh, I can't even find my children. I don't even know where they are. I'm getting old. I'm expiring." Oh, and I felt very bad. I had a kind of ick instead of me, because I think, oh, how would my end be? Because I'm going to think about my old age, and I discovered that there's a disconnection. So the children don't even miss her. They don't even know where she is. And then they have to go, because they just have to go and say, okay, how you doing? And they can't even spend time together, because there's no point of discussion, there's no point of communication, because there has not been that communication over the years. So
They weren't used to it. They weren't used to
they used to, and it's kind of just happened overnight. And so now let's start talking on what about what. So they just drop flowers, drop food, drop whatever thing they want to drop. But I realized that everybody in that care home is an executive care home. They are all hard workers in the past, top CEOs in the past. They were now old, and they just have different rooms where they've been taken care of by nurses and then caregivers and all that. but they were all empty. So I began to ask the question, what exactly is the purpose of work?
So,
Okay, so go ahead.
no, that's a wonderful question, Remy, because a lot of people do things without questioning, why do we do this? You know, like a lot of people just say, oh, let me do what everybody else is doing. Unconsciously, we just do what everybody else is doing. And then we tend to copy the people around us. Like if our families, you know, they have this type of car, we tend to have that same type of car. If they tend to have this type of work, we tend to have that. Or if they earn money exchanging time for money, then we end up earning money exchanging time for money. A lot of times, unless we get out of our circle and learn from other, right? So I believe the purpose of money is so that we can have something. I'm going to answer your question, but the purpose of money, I'm going to get to it. So the purpose of money is so that we can have something that we can exchange for the things we do, the services we give, right? So I do a service for you. This is very simple, obviously. I do a service for you. You give me money that you want my service more than the money I'm requiring for it, right? So we
Value,
exchange.
value.
Right, we exchange. I give you my service, you give me the amount of money that I requested, and you are happy to give it to me, right?
Mhm.
So then I take that same piece of paper and I go to someone else to get their service or product, and then I hand them over that piece of paper, right?
Value.
And then they give me. So it's the only thing we have that we can exchange everything we do to each other for each other, right? But why do we work? We work because there's things that I can do that maybe you cannot do. And you need me to do it for you.
Good.
For example, imagine you had to do your own bread, your own, raise your own animals and plant all your own food and make all your own clothes and create the electricity that comes to your house. Imagine you had to do all those things. It would be impossible to do everything, right? So we need each other. So I like to say that business is God's trick to get us to serve each other.
Wow. I love that. I love that.
Like this is his excuse for here, guys. Serve each other, right? But what happens is the society sells to us a bill of goods and they sell us a plan that is full of lies and tells us you need this, you need that. Now you need this, now you need that, Like growing up, I never let my kids watch commercials because I used to tell them like commercials are always telling you need something else. And then you can be happy with what you have right now, but the commercial is telling you, oh, no, you're not happy. You need this, and then you're going to be happy, right?
Yeah.
So if we miss the boat and we forget what the purpose of business is, the purpose of business is for us to serve each other.
Yeah.
And the purpose of money is for us to have the things we need and to give our family the things that our family needs. But at the end, the main thing is relationships and it's family. Like nobody gets to their deathbed and they're gonna die and nobody says, oh, I wish I had bought more shoes, or I wish I would have bought more purses, or I wish I would have gotten that car, like no, everybody at that point in time, they're thinking about their children, their grandchildren, the husband or wife that they divorced because they weren't available. Like it's all about people. It's all about people. So to answer your question, a lot of these executives or regular people also that are not executives, they forget that the purpose of life is family and relationships, and money is just part of life. And business is the way that we can serve each other, but we cannot make it all about that.
I love it.
I love
it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's so profound because one of the things I talked about executive emptiness is executives or managers, supervisors at the top of their game. They work so hard that they begin to lose 5 important things in their life. Number 1, they lose family. And by the time they come back, the family is gone. Number 2, they lose friends. The friends that makes you happy, people that makes you laugh, people that you do together, people that you do a lot of stuff together. You lose friends. Number 3, they lose fun. They don't have time for fun. They don't have time for holidays. It's part of where I came from. People don't have time for holidays. They just want to work out. In fact, they want to be paid for 13th month of the year. Can I have the 13th month? Can I work extra? Don't let me go for no break, So they lose fun. Number 3 and number 4, they lose what is called fulfillment. There's no fulfillment in what they do. They just want to work like machine, just working, money, work, money, work. So there's no fulfillment within. So they're like robot is even fulfilled because robot is doing what is programmed to do. These people are just working as a shaft. they are just like empty shafts, Then the last one, they lose their faith. They forget about Christianity, about Islam, about Hindu, whatever. I don't care about my religion. I don't care about my faith. I just care about this work. I just need to go walk. And before you know, January, before you know, it's July, before you know, it's December. Before you know, pam, that's it. And then they start all over again and again. So let's go a bit, in another dimension. I say, what are the signs will you see? People are asking me, how will you know that somebody is losing it? What are the signs to know the executive is not fulfilled or is empty, even when it's making so much money or the growth is going up? But how do you know that this person is really going down emotionally, is going down in a way that is not fulfilled, that is not the right? What are the signs of knowing if somebody is going through executive emptiness? That's the question, right?
Some of the signs that I've seen is starting to like drink or catch like a vice, like a habit, like smoking or drinking, something to numb their pain.
True.
Another thing is like being very irritable. Like not at work because they have to put up a front,
Yeah.
But when they're home with the children or with the wife or with the husband, they're more easily irritable because it's like a pressure inside and then something just makes them pop, because they're not happy. But so vices, also like depression, because you feel there's no meaning in what you're doing. Like you feel like I achieved all of this. I'm doing all of this, and some people, these people are happy, but I am not. They're happy with what I'm doing. I look successful, but I feel empty. So then they can have depression. So depression, looking for things to numb the feelings, and also ruining relationships by being irritable. Those are some of the things that I see.
I agree with you. And then in my research, I also discovered that many of them, they run to porn, they run to X-rated sites just to dip themselves in there to escape. They're trying to escape for something.
Yeah, that's another vice, because we have human needs, and if we don't fulfill our needs, like the way God made us, God didn't make a man to be by himself or a woman to be by herself. We are supposed to be in family with mom, dad, brothers, sisters, and then we're supposed to be with a husband or wife, and then create our own little, our children. So we're supposed to be in family, but because people are not engaging in relationships, they're not building in relationships, they're not depositing emotionally in other people, you cannot have that communion and that unity. So then a man,
then they'll be looking for it everywhere, looking for relationship everywhere.
For anything, right? And then you're looking for something that kind of looks like it. For example, the intimate need of a man. Well, because let's say that he hasn't worked on a woman to build a relationship with a woman for her to be, close to him so that he can have those needs met. Then he just has to go like kind of cheat, like, oh, let me just get whatever I can get. And then they go to a fake world that kind of creates a copy of, like a fake world that creates a copy of reality, but it's a copy, it's a fake technological in a screen,
I know. Awesome. So let's dovetail to you now, because our viewers, our listeners are asking questions. How do I get out of this? I mean, I don't want this to be an academic discussion. I want to be something practicable. Have there been any time in your own life that you also felt this executive emptiness, or where you feel exhausted, you feel burnout, you feel empty? Are there times like that in your life? Share your experience too.
Yeah, so when I have felt like that, I usually notice that I'm getting further from God. When I've gotten further from God. So what I've done is I've paused and kind of like recharge myself spiritually.
I love it.
Like recharge spiritually, like go to the beach, take a day off, and pray extra, or meditate extra and reconnect. When I did that, Remy, it helped me see that I was making it mean, like people make mean that their value comes from what they can accomplish. So getting close to God helps you see things in the right perspective. Like you don't need to kill yourself, with the day-to-day life to create a certain result, because the result doesn't mean who you are. Like we are amazing, we are beautifully and wonderfully made. So our value doesn't come from our results, right? But when you get close to God and away from the world, then you can see clearly why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Like it helped me, getting closer to God helped me to see that I was valuing my results above everything else. So then after I did that, then I'm able to be like, okay, what are my priorities? What do I truly value? Myself, my relationship with God, my health, my children, my mother, my siblings, my nephews and nieces, So then looking at your priorities, you can start saying, okay, how can I show with my actions that these things are important? But I believe it starts with your relationship with God, because he's the one that helps you to see things clearly, so that you can give the attention that you need to the things.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. And then I'm also checking my time so that we don't take all the time out. Yes, so there's this perspective that people talk about. You talk about work-life balance. And I say that, you can't really have work and life balance like that, because sometimes we spend more time at work, but when we get home, you might, for those who don't work from home, even if you work from home, you might not have that that 100% percentage, 50-50. It's not like that. So I call it work-life integration. Work-life integration. How do you balance? How do you integrate work and life together in a way that your children are not missing out of, they are not missing out of the motherhood of you, or your mom is not missing out of the daughterhood of you, and then yet you are still a performer, you are still getting results at work, you are still attending to coaching, clients, consulting, businesses. How do you practically, experience work-life integration? Can we have your experience in that?
Okay, so what I do, first of all, I assign like spaces in the week. For example, my time with God, right? So Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, I do not work at all.
Wow.
I put everything away. If my whiteboard, has notes, I'll erase the notes. If I didn't get to work on it, I take a picture of it. I erase the notes. I put away everything that will make me think of work. So on that whole day, Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, I'm focused on God and I'm focused on family. That's the day that I usually will call friends, talk to them, spend time with my children, spend time with God, spend time in nature, and rest. So that's something that I make sure right now, just because I'm in a building time. So I have a lot of work right now. So that day I dedicated for that. For example, when we're sitting down, because my daughter right now, she is unschooled. So she doesn't go to a school, right? She goes to classes and then she's home. So we're home most of the time together.
That's a lot of work, man.
It is. So, but when we eat, for example, we are speaking, we're communicating, we're conversing. Like whenever we're at the table, that's like quality time. So we eat and we talk. We eat and I listen to her. So that's really, even though I cannot spend all the hours with her that I spend with work, when I'm with her, and I teach my daughters, when you are with someone, be with them, not with the phone, not with text, not with somebody that's somewhere else. They can wait. The person that's here is the one that needs your attention. So far, that's what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. I love that. And I think a lot of our viewers and listeners are really, learning something. So let's touch this before we wrap up. I know there's a part of faith, and you've talked about God, talked about family, you've talked about friends. How do you have fun? Is there a place for fun? How do you have fun? When is my queen Dalin having fun? And then you are like a baby again. How do you have that as an executive? How do you do that?
So for example, on Sundays, we take part of the day for fun. So that's the day where we can roller skate or ride the bicycle or watch a movie or play games, or go to the beach. We love going to the beach.
Wow.
So having fun right now, what it looks like, because I love to do all kinds of things that right now I'm not doing. Like I love to paint and I love to draw and I love to ride, horseback riding, so just playing with my daughter, playing with the kids, nature right now. And usually Sunday we make it part of the day fun day, because I do work on Sunday, but I don't work the whole Sunday. So part of the day is for fun. And something very important that I learned many years ago from a man called T. Harv Eker. He used to have a weekend seminar called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. And in that seminar, I learned about having a fun budget. Having a budget for fun. So for example, you take your income and you decide, how much can I afford to make sure that my family and I are having fun? So for example, it could be 5% of your income. It could be 10% of your income, 15, whatever. You decide where you can start. And then the rule is that you're going to use that money every month. You cannot roll it over to the next month.
Wow.
So for example, if you have a giving budget, if you have a giving budget is what I teach businesses to have. But if you have a fund budget and you know that you need to use it before the end of the month, then you're going to be more prone to, okay, where can we go? Like museums, parks, go on kayaking, do something with that money with the family and have fun, to make sure you're always having fun, because we are meant to have fun.
Yeah. Awesome. On the final wrap now, I just want us to take this so that we can just take this off quickly, is to say, where can we find you? People are really looking for you. They really want to connect with you. Where can they find you? What's your social media, handles? Then you now give us your final part, which is your productivity strategy. So let's have that.
Okay, so right now, I'm fairly new in social media, but I am in Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, starting in some podcasts. Anywhere you can find me with my name,
Awesome.
Dalin Espinal, Dalin Espinal. Anywhere you can find me like that. And then if you speak Spanish or know somebody that speaks Spanish, it'll usually be Dalin Espinal Español.
Okay, wow.
Español.
Okay.
So, and what was your last question? My productivity strategy?
How do you get results? Yeah.
Okay. So very important is having a coach.
A coach. Awesome.
I believe having a coach is very important, because when something is not a habit, it's very good to have someone to respond to, accountability. So accountability is very important. Yeah. I have a coach, I have accountability.
Awesome.
And then personally I learned from Stephen Covey, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and having a wildly important goal. Yeah. So like the 7 habits, everything in the 7 habits, but beginning with the end in mind. What is the end that I want to achieve? And then you begin with the end, and then you walk backwards to structuring your plan. And then another thing that I do is I prepare the next day, the day before.
Wow.
Because the day actually starts when the sun goes down. Okay. So it's good to have everything that you want to accomplish the next day, have it clear before the sun goes down. So then your mind, as you sleep, it can start working on the ways that ideas on how you can more effectively, execute. And then the third thing is putting things in order of priority, like A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. And then working on your state of mind so that you are being pulled and not pushed,
Awesome. Thank you very much. These are powerful principles that we are taking out, from I'm going to watch this over and over again, so I can also take this principle and practice myself. So thank you very much, my Queen Dalin. It's been awesome having you around today. And
thank you, Remy.
In regards to the beautiful babies around, beautiful ladies around.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. My name is Remy Dairo. My friends call me Mr. Productivity, and I'm so excited to be in this edition. So I look forward to having you another time when we're having this podcast next week. You can check on our social media. You can check my website to download my book called Executive Emptiness. It's free for now before we move it to Amazon, where you're going to pay money for that. So you can go to my website, www.remydairo.org.org. and then you go to the free book session, you can download it. And then you can also take some assessment on to check where your executive emptiness is. So it's called the Executive Emptiness Tracker, where you can track how your emptiness and what you can do about it. And I can assure you, we have so much resources on that platform. So thank you very much once again. It's been nice having you around, Dalin. Do have a great week. Have a great day today. Bye-bye.